I know I advocated for human creativity, and I still stand by that. However, I can understand why, if you were to look at something like this, and the tagline, Norse soup, so good you go schloop, you might think that computers should be running this more than us. Hello and welcome to Talk Spooky to Me, the Ghost Story Guys mail show. I'm Brennan Storr.
I'm Paul Bestel.
And this is our opportunity to hear from you, our audience. Paul Bestel, my friend, how you doing?
I'm all right. I've got a back strain just to add to the challenges at the minute. I don't know where that's come from. Julie says it's because I've been stood up too long or laid down too much. Or basically being alive.
I was going to say, you got to pick one or the other. Like at some point, you got to come down on that one side of that fence.
Sitting down's a happy medium.
Oh, there we go. You got to do more sitting.
So I don't know. why that started. So, yeah, apart from that, I'm all right, mate, I think. I don't know. These meds make everything feel a bit spacey.
Oh, right. You change things up.
Yeah, they've made them stronger. Thankfully, I've got a natural tolerance, it seems. Can't think how that developed over the years.
No. That's a mystery. We'll save that one for your autobiography. Oh, man. Well, speaking of long sleeps, I've just finished Elden Ring. I played it for longer than I played any other game in my life. And when I finally finished it, I think 2 nights ago, it genuinely felt like I was coming out of a coma. It just became a point where it was a personal challenge. It wasn't even about being fun anymore. It was just about, Jesus Christ, I started this thing. I'm going to finish it. And I feel like Rip Van Winkle. Like the dude from Flight of the Navigator. Like when I finally walked out of my apartment, everyone was going to be about 10 years older than they had been when I went in there. So speaking of drugs, Elden Ring, not even once. All right, well, Stranger Things Season 5 is finally out. GTA 6 is just around the corner. I finally finished Elden Ring. Paul, we better get to the email before the world finally ends.
Absolutely.
Our courteous and efficient staff is on call 24 hours a day to serve all your supernatural elimination needs.
We're ready to believe you.
So first up, we have one that just slayed me. This was a message we got on Threads from Peaky1028. And Peaky says, here's innocent me just baking cheesecake, potato rolls for the annual colonizers feast, just listening to the latest GSG, drinking coffee. Don't drink coffee when largely the truth talks about walking through the drive-thru like a bunch of raccoons. The coffee went everywhere, the potato rolls may never recover, and now I need this saying along with a random visual on a t-shirt and mug. Thank you, Brennan and Paul, for the fucking laughs. The ruined baked goods are always worth it.
We're just out here doing God's work.
That's it.
Which God, we're not sure, but we're doing it. Barb on Instagram writes, I've been listening to the pod for a while and I love you and Paul. Tonight I told 2 separate classes of undergrads, including some inveterate AI users, that AI content is 1,000 mediocre voices screaming into the void, which is unlikely to change minds, but gets the point across, I think. It was a lecture about developing your own voice as a writer, so I hope some of them listened. Good for you, Barb.
Yes, and like I told you on Instagram, Barb, you're doing the Lord's work. There is absolutely nothing to be gained by creating shit via AI. The process of creativity is the point. And I don't care if you feel otherwise. You're just wrong. Yes, AI. We can argue that AI has some accessibility uses. Fine, okay, but your inability to create something or to stick with something long enough to finish it is not an accessibility issue. That's a focus issue. That's a you issue. I had the same problem. I learned. You get no sympathy from me for that.
Do you learn nothing from Rutger Hauer's performance in Blade Runner, everyone?
Okay, I have to know where this is going.
Just saying. That's what happens if you leave our AI running. That's what'll happen. Fist fights in Tokyo in rain.
Man, you have been sleeping, because I'm pretty sure that was Los Angeles.
I don't care, me.
I just want to see the robot get shot. That's all
That's
I'm here
all I
for.
need to know.
Man, Rutger Hauer, there was he passed, didn't he? Yeah, there was a talent.
A couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I played a shitty video game because he was in it, and his presence did in fact make it better. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a kind of like a investigative horror game on the PlayStation. I want to say Intruder or something like that. But anyways, He was just there, and he just elevated it simply by virtue of being involved.
Ironically, he's probably more famous in the United Kingdom for adverts than he is for his films.
Really? He did like TV adverts there?
He did Guinness adverts.
Oh, well, that's fair. That'll do it.
And they were all very odd, shall we say. I would imagine they're on YouTube. They are works of art, essentially. They're like miniature surreal films. And he was like the face of Guinness in the UK for about 5 years.
And what period was this?
80s, 90s.
Oh, okay. So well before this whole kind of wave of surreal adverts that happened over here.
Yeah, oh yeah. Guinness were always quite outside of the box for quite a long time. They've kind of lost their edge in the modern era, including a few allegations of plagiarism. But their stuff in the 80s and 90s, they were particularly unique in the way that they marketed themselves as more than just an alcoholic beverage. They were very, very clever.
This is kind of the thing I'm talking about. Like, this is, if you devalue creativity enough, even in something as simple as an advert, that leads to this AI situation where people are like, well, it doesn't matter. You know, press a button. It's the same as making the thing. Like, no, it's fucking not, because what is memorable? Like these garbage Coca-Cola adverts that they've made with AI. Yeah. They had to hire just as many fucking people to fix the thing, like to fix the AI shit, as they would have done anyways. Like, there's no point. It's a tumor.
There's a story, and I just want to double check where it was for you. Kingston upon Thames, here in the United Kingdom, decided this year that their Christmas mural, they would use AI for it, right?
Oh.
So they've gone ahead and they've built this massive, massive mural. It's like 10 metres tall and about 50 metres long, right? Which looked great from a distance. But then when people got close to it, they began to point out things like a dog blurring into a chicken, a la The Thing. In one section, a penguin seems to be running on fire. Humans with animals' feet and hands. A grotesque snowman that looked like a serial killer with ears growing out of the sides of its head.
This sounds like fucking Hieronymus Bosch.
Yeah, you can find these pictures. It is horrendous. It looks awful. It's just the kind of thing that somebody went, oh, just order this. I can't be arsed to sort it out. However, it was supposed to be put up to sort of celebrate the area and all this. All the residents, all the shops around it have just gone, this is fucking awful. Take it down. So they've had to take it down because everybody's told them how shit it is. And now they won't tell anybody who did it or how much it cost. And the guy that everybody thinks who did it, who is an artist, is refusing to respond to any requests about it because everybody's now thinking, oh, well, you've sold out then, because how much did they give you to create that shit?
Oof.
So it was only up 4 days.
Oh, and shit like that's going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening because lazy, stupid people are going to, who have convinced themselves that this is an answer to whatever imagined problem in their head. The problem of, there's no talented people around who want to work. Yeah, bullshit.
Well, they have to cut costs in such poverty-stricken areas as Kingston upon Thames.
I was there once in 2008.
Did you make the locals drop their champers?
I think I might have. I seem to recall there was a pub on the river.
Yes.
And we were very much out of place there. It was a couch surfing, a London-based couch surfing meetup. And it was, I don't remember much. I just remember feeling very out of place.
You were lucky you weren't escorted to the nearest tube station. So yes, if you want to investigate how awful some of those images are in that and not want to sleep again, you can find the story all over the place because it's quite amusing to a lot of people.
Well, let's move on from that to an ad that was not made with AI, but was in fact made with real.
We hope.
Real. Yeah, we hope. Yeah, fuck, I guess we should. Okay, no, this was posted 12 years ago, so it could not have been AI, thank God. But this is instead real, genuine human perversion. It comes from Mary from Wisconsin. And Mary says, I was listening to the Vancouver Island is Haunted episode and got a chuckle out of the conversation you guys had about suggestive ads. Here's one for you and Paul to watch. Would love to hear what you think. Enjoy. And
I believe that's the legendary band Durex Super Bowl advert.
Oh, okay.
Because that was made to be shown during a Super Bowl and the NFL went, the fuck?
They missed out. I'll tell you that for nothing. That is high art, Mary. I adore that.
Yeah, that's clever. It's clever and funny.
I love it. Somewhere around the 15-second mark, all of a sudden there's another animal just watching from the distance. Why not? Although, just to give you an example, Mary, of what this has now done to my algorithm, I'm looking at the recommended next videos, and one of them says, "What your ball size says about you." So, not thrilled about that. Not thrilled about that.
Yeah, it's like the internet recently rediscovered a no soup advert from the UK from the 90s, which apparently is terrifying people.
Oh, really? Okay.
See if I can find it for you. In fact, it's even older than that. It's 1985. There you go. I've sent you it in the chat. So this is how we sold the one of the big brands of soup to the British consumers in the 1980s.
I mean, it already looks like British television from the 80s, by which I mean I'm going to have nightmares about it. Schloop, schloop, schloop. Yeah, this is something that should be in a Reddit creepypasta about cursed television networks. If he blows the soup crystals in the dancing scarecrow's eyes like pocket sand, it'll be the only thing in this that makes sense.
Don't you just want some soup now?
I never want to go outside again, is what I want. Yeah. So just before we move on to the next email, I just have to say, okay, I know I advocated for human creativity, and I still stand by that. However, I can understand why, if you were to look at something like this, and the tagline, "Nor soup, so good you go schloop," you might think that computers should be running this more than us. So I understand to a degree. Well, moving on from the Pumpkinhead prequel.
The pumpkin seed.
Not better.
Is that a rake in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me?
Got him. Read the email.
Our next message is from Matt. Hi, you guys. I've been wanting to write to you for a very long time, and today is the day that I have to do it. The weirdest things just happened to me, and I need to share this. I live in Pemberton, which is a small town just north of Whistler. I mostly work in Whistler every day, and this morning on my way to work, I was listening to episode 227, as I always am doing when a new episode comes out. As I was listening to the episode, Brennan started talking about a ghost town just outside of Whistler, which you can hike to. At the exact same time, I looked to my left, and as I was driving by Green Lake, which is at the closest I can be to that exact ghost town on the other side of the lake. I could not believe the timing. Anyhow, if you'd ever like to come to Whistler, it would be my pleasure to walk to that ghost town with y'all. It's more than a walk than a hike. I know you don't like the woods, but it's not that bad as it follows a train track most of the way. Ha ha! Sorry if I misspelt anything. English is my second language. You guys are both the best, and it's always a pleasure listening to you on my commute. Take care, Matt. Nothing wrong with your English, Matt. Don't be so hard on yourself.
No, not at all. I mean, nice try, otherworldly forces. You're not going to get me to come out to the woods with you.
That's clearly an email from the Fae. From Mr. B.I.G. Foot. He says, Dear Brennan, when do you want to come to the woods of British Columbia on the mountain?
Alone. You have to come alone. Please dust yourself with North soup crystals before you come. I haven't been to Whistler in 7 years now, 8 years. But if I ever end up there, I will certainly send you a message. It's a fascinating place. You know, we took Nick's family up there when they came to visit, and it was, I don't know, because I grew up in a ski town, I have such an intense dislike of anything that looks like a ski village that I probably didn't give Whistler a fair shake. Although I did have a really great piece of pie at a diner there. So, it wasn't all bad news. Next up is from Jenny. Jenny says, Hi guys, love you both, the show and Mysteries and Monsters too. I just moved down to North Carolina from Washington, D.C. for work to a rural area on the coast. Although I wasn't sure what to expect, I definitely didn't expect the amount of Sasquatch/Bigfoot imagery around. I've seen murals of Bigfoot holding a surfboard, cutouts at night that spooked me at first, and more. Just wondering if there's a reason for all this around here? Do either of you know if there are sightings or just maybe some big fans down here? A quick, maybe recent supernatural story for you too. Since we just moved, that means my 20-month-old toddler has a new daycare with new teachers. Her first day was mostly full-on scream crying, and her teachers said she didn't eat. I knew she'd adjust, but it hurt my heart. That night I asked all my grandparents, who sadly passed long before she was born, to please go with her and comfort her at school to help her adjust. In the morning, when I went to her crib, she said the normal, "Hi, Mama." But then instead of saying up like she normally does next, she looked over my shoulder and excitedly said, "Papa." We called my dad's dad Naggy Papa, so it brought me comfort that at least one grandparent had apparently answered the call. And she says, just in case you decide to read this out on the show, Naggy Papa is Hungarian for grandpa, and it's pronounced kind of like nide, rhymes with tide. That's the best way I can think of how to describe it. Sorry, not the best with phonetics. Hey, me either. Thanks for all you do. I'm typing this so quickly, but we'll absolutely join as patrons soon, I promise. Best, Jenny. Well, Jenny, we just appreciate you listening, so thank you so, so much. And Paul, North Carolina Bigfoot, is that a thing?
Of course. Hundreds.
Aha.
Hundreds.
Really?
Of reports from North Carolina yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it then.
Appalachian, isn't it? Yeah, there's been hundreds of reports. There was one the other week down there, North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're known as boogers. They call them wood booger.
Wood boogers.
The wood booger, but it's essentially Bigfoot.
Okay.
Same thing. So yeah, there was a very funny thing, I think it's about 10 years ago now, where loads of people contacted the police and said they thought Bigfoot was wandering around. And when the police turned up, it was a shaman just wandering around on a quest.
Oh. Okay.
But he got like loads of shaggy fur coats on, I think, and a big hat, and people thought he was Bigfoot from a distance. But there was a very well-reported sighting. In the last 5 years, there's 3 brothers, I think, had gone out hiking and basically got chased out by something that was doing the kind of walking, stopping. So there's more than enough. And I know I think there's a Bigfoot museum down there. There's a North Carolina Bigfoot search organisation. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff down there. Just and at the end of the day, it's probably protecting you from the Wampus cat crossing over from South Carolina.
There you go, Jenny. There are Bigfoot, yes, but he is keeping you safe from the greater threat known as the Wampus cat.
Yeah. So watch the tree lines.
All right. Well, as I check the tree line myself, we're going to take a quick break, and then providing there is no either Bigfoot or Catawampus or whatever, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Who do we have next, Paul?
Next up, it's from our friend Fiona. And Fiona writes, "Hello, it's Fiona from Sheffield. I've just wanted to thank you so much for the shout-outs over the years, but particularly the recent ones relating to your trips to Celluloid Screams, Paul. I owe you more pints at the next folklore meetup." I were a bit half-cooked last time, Christ. And it was sunny. Not wondering home drunk in this weather. I also insured Nancy, Terrabella, what a brilliant name, and Art the Clown, Disguste, knew they had been mentioned too, but I just wanted to correct you, if that's okay, that it's Cryptid Queers, not Cryptid Queens, as it's run by a super talented drag king called King Confuser, and they host amazing nights in Sheffield 2 to 3 times a year, and the next one being on the 22nd of November, so we've just missed that, so apologies, Fiona. The night consists of lots of talented drag monsters and me, followed by a night of the best goth alt tunes, and if you know anybody that would enjoy it, I've supplied the details. And I must confess that I feel the need to weigh in on the continued conversation about the Conjuring franchise, Brennan's favourites, especially as I was dressed as Valak the Nun for my act at the Celluloid Screams. I totally agree that the Warrens were the best con artists and everything they said was utter shite. But if you watch the Conjuring, Nun and Annabelle films as a separate thing and treat them as a work of fiction, they're great fun, with the exception of the last 2 films, which weren't as good. I do totally realise, though, that it perpetuates the Warren hero worship, and that maybe I'm separating the 2 things because I really enjoy the films. I was obsessed with the Enfield Poltergeist when I was a kid, so I was glad that it brought back the case to a whole new audience, even if people don't know that the family involved told the Warrens to fuck off after 5 minutes. Anyway, if it's a consolation, they pissed all over their memory with my performance. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I love everything you guys are doing, and thank you for the hundreds of hours of laughter. Sorry for the bad grammar, etc. I'm dyslexic. And once again, no need to apologise, Fiona. That was absolutely fine. I should be apologising for getting the name wrong.
I hope one day I'm able to see one of your performances, Fiona. And, I do think it's worth having a conversation about what art means to us versus what it is in the world. I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think watching something that allows, the sort of casts the Warrens as fictional heroes is bad in and of itself. I liked the first Conjuring film. I still like the first Conjuring film. I'm not really much for the Annabelle films. I think the first Nun is great. I didn't like the second one very much. But it's that thing where I think you can separate the art from the artist. I think it gets harder, though, with the third film especially, because that was a murder case. And it just feels really tasteless to make a film out of that, full stop. That's where I start to kind of run into the rocks of it. And I mean, again, I cannot kind of do the purity test because I paid theatrical money to go see part 4. I didn't do it for 3, but I did with 4. So if it means something to you, then it means something to you, right? It's like when you find out a piece of art is made by a piece of shit. If it means something to you, then it's okay for it to mean something to you. I love Chinatown. I watched Chinatown before I knew what Roman Polanski was because I was quite young when I saw it. I still love Chinatown. I just am also aware that this was made by a piece of shit, and I don't watch anything new he makes if he's made anything new in recent years. Yeah, it's a fine line where I think if we limit ourselves to art produced by people or about people who are kind of morally pure, I think you start closing doors pretty fast. Yeah. And so I think this is one of those things. I think it's hard to make hard and fast rules. And I know there's going to be some people who get pissed about that. And frankly, I don't give a shit. But that's kind of my take on it. I think you have to find out where your own personal line is. How about you?
It's difficult, isn't it? I suppose. It depends on how problematic the artist is, I suspect, depending, because obviously there are certain things that go against the pale, really, don't they? And you can't really justify supporting certain artists when they've committed heinous acts and heinous crimes. But the country is... I'm
not going to go buy a Lost Prophets LP, No,
nobody is. And so I think, the thing about those whole series of films is, like you said, the third one is especially problematic because that was a clear case of mental illness that was twisted into a possession narrative. If you know about the case, it was quite clear that lad was deeply disturbed, sadly, and wasn't getting the treatment he required at the time because of what it was. It was absolutely not, he was hearing voices and all kinds of things, and they latched onto that. And that's the problem you've got sometimes with this, is that it happens. It happened a lot. You would hope. it still goes on. We know it does. That certain religious organisations and paranormal investigators would recognise mental illness instead of presuming it's possession or some other supernatural gubbins. You should always, if dealing with alleged cases of such matters, have mental health professionals with you. And if you aren't, then you're letting both the person and yourselves down, because you're on a hiding to nothing. Every case that's been highlighted in it, the first one was the whole Bathsheba bullshit narrative that everybody blames this unknown town historian that nobody seems to be able to track down. Oh, well, I didn't come up with that story. I was told it by such and such. So it seems to be the default excuse they all come up with for that bollocks. The second one, Fiona says they were there for 5 minutes. They were there for about 2.5 hours and were kindly told to fuck off by the Hodgsons and Guy Lyon Playfair and never came back. So to make a film out of that is galling. The third one is a mental illness case, and the fourth one's a pile of shit that never happened. The Smurl haunting, it's bullshit. From top to bottom, left to right, and everywhere you want to look at it. So I wouldn't say they've got a great legacy because, and that's even before you even start looking at the bullshit of Amityville,
Oh, so, yeah.
They've said that's it, it's all done and dusted. I would not be surprised if they come back and redo Amityville as part of it.
I think what they're going to do, honestly, I think what'll end up happening, there's some talk about a streaming series. Something else you don't have to worry about watching.
How do you know? Can you see inside my head?
I can. I wish I couldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, no, stop. Anyways. I think what they'll do is the streaming series will probably focus on the kids, like the daughter and her new husband, because they're not going to want to pay Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga what they would want to get, what they would deserve, because the films are such a success. So they'll go the cheap route and they'll make a streaming show or a sequel series or a prequel series. There's been talk about a prequel series. So yeah, that last film made more than all of them. So there's no way they're going to stop. But again, they're not going to pay those two people what their ask would be for the next one. So they'll come up with some bullshit way around it.
Well, I can't wait to avoid that.
Amen.
Perhaps they'll do the one about the werewolf case, because that's real.
It's just an Italian guy with hemorrhoids.
It's just a shaman.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Having a wander through North Carolina.
Funny enough, I went to go see, what horror film did I go see recently? Oh, it was Keeper. I went to go see Oz Perkins' Keeper, which I actually quite liked. Reviews weren't very kind, but I think it's good. It's a little folk horror. No, that's Die My Love.
Ah, right.
Don't see that.
Who's in Keeper?
Tatiana Maslany and
I've seen
some other
trailer.
dude whose name I don't know. But the trailers they had before it, one of them was Whistle. All it is there's that death whistle people found. It's like the spooky looking skull thing that sounds like a terrifying scream when you blow into it. Yeah, exactly. Paul has a 3D printed one now.
I'm not blowing it properly. Not waking all streets up.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes a really terrifying noise when you blow into it. Aztec Death Whistle. Thank you. So this really blew up in social media over the last couple of years. And consequently now there's a fucking movie called Whistle, which is all about Aztec Death Whistle.
Yes!
And it basically just is like the Ring scenario. You hear the whistle, you die. Which is incredible because, like Paul mentioned, everyone hears the whistle. Like you blow that thing, people on Mars are waking up and calling the cops.
It's one of my favourite things is stumbling across videos of somebody hiding in a woods with one of them and a group of kids is like playing. Brilliant. Watching their souls leave their body as they run away, crashing into trees and tripping over branches. Brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just throwing another reason never to go into the woods on the pile.
Yeah, it kind of falls down on that premise. It's one of the loudest noises I've ever heard in my life.
Monica on Instagram writes, "Hey, I was the one who recommended ATs. Knowing now that Paul does not like when singers use the top of their register, can I recommend other songs instead, like Matt's, Ariba, or Tippy Toes? Sorry, I love your show and I love ATs, and you both help me stay alive. You don't have to like it. They're just very versatile and do a lot of charity stuff. Thank you for all you do."
I shall check them out.
While Paul is checking them out, I will say I have started watching K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix. I have not finished it, but it is catchy. I don't love it, but I like it.
Unlike Legend of the Overmind.
Well, I have downloaded Legend of the Overfiend. I have not watched it yet, but I managed to find. Message. And folks, again, Paul's going to listen to some tunes here, but Legend of the Overfiend is an anime, we'll call it, from the 80s that Paul mentioned seeing when he was a younger man that kind of put him off the entire genre. And I managed to find, we'll say, a copy of the 2-hour and 15-minute version, the uncut version. So I'm going to watch it, and you will perhaps hear the next episode being recorded from a mental asylum. We'll see.
Again.
I mean, I feel like I made it through Perfect Blue. This shouldn't be hard, but I don't know. Paprika. I haven't seen Perfect Blue.
Yes, there's too many adverts, so we'll move on.
Okay. Well, we'll come back on the next episode and we'll see if Paul is on board with ATs.
Next up, Josh writes, "Hey, Brennan Paul. Long time, third time. It's been quite a while since I wrote in, possibly years. Things have calmed down for the most part since the Arkansas Banshee, though I may have a few stories if you'll desire to do an episode on prophetic dreams which have been following me for most of my life. I've just finished This Haunted Life Part 3, and I couldn't help but think of how great a book her stories would make. I know you've got the house label, but would you ever delve into indie publishing? I've also got more of a folklore mythology question. I'm working on a psych horror short film, and the current working title is Nymphalepsia, a concept introduced to me by one of my roommates who's got an obsession with Crete. but it posits that the reason people, mainly men, feel the urge to leave society behind and live in a shack in the woods is that they've been enraptured by a forest nymph. I've read the Wikipedia page on the theory, but I was wondering if either of y'all have got any more insight into it, because it's sort of shaped and changed the story as I'm writing it. Love the show as always, and I'm excited for every episode. I fell off podcasts for a while because I couldn't listen to them at my job, but now I've got a new place and I'm the boss, so no one is going to tell me not to listen to my spooky stories when I'm here at 3 a.m. baking pastries. Take care, guys. Josh.
Well, Josh, it's good to hear from you again, and congratulations on now being the boss. I think that's pretty cool. Man, the Arkansas Banshee, that feels like another lifetime entirely.
Yes, but as soon as you said the word nympholepsy, I thought that's got to be something to do with the Romans or the Mediterranean, and so I was not surprised to see Crete mentioned next. It's definitely something that pops up in most mythologies, I would suggest, of some level. There's always that, I mean, whether it's the fae or the nymphs or the fairies or wherever you are. I mean, I've just done an interview with 2 authors from Pakistan.
I saw that in the recorder. That looks really cool.
Yeah, about Pashto folktales, which is a dialect spoken in Afghanistan, Iran and Pakistan. And so they've translated these stories for the first time into English.
Oh, very cool.
And who knew that they have fairies too?
So outside of jinn?
Yeah, it's nothing to do. The jinn are
interesting.
On their own, and this book is full of other things that are not jinn.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, interesting.
So, yeah, I'd never heard of it till I read the book. Obviously, a lot of these, there's some stories that the templates would surprise you that even in, Southern Asia, they're very similar stories to what we've discovered from Egypt and the Romans and the Greeks and Native Americans and indigenous Australians. It's the same kind of stories the world over. It's remarkable, really. But it is fascinating to get those kinds of insight. The general thing I learned reading that book is don't fall in love in the Pashto region.
Interesting.
Because some mythical creature will stick their oar in.
Okay. Love. Generally dangerous. That's going to be the title of this episode.
One of Roxy Music's lesser-known B-sides.
Luna writes, like most people, I want to thank you both for all your work on your podcasts. Also, your openness and support in mental health and therapy. It really helped give me the push I needed to try therapy again, and got lucky this time with a great therapist. I've been going for about a year and a half and recently ended my crap relationship. Good for you, Luna. That's a hard thing to do, so congratulations. On to the story. This one's for Paul. Time details are fuzzy as we're working with 50-ish-year-old memories. I was about 8 to 10 years old, placing this around 1973 to 1975. My parents and I had just left our home in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York, to spend our yearly July 4th week vacation at a religious camp my parents supported in the Finger Lakes region of New York. I would say it was no later than 9 a.m., sun fully up, but still early in the day. I was laying on the built-in bed of the Chevy van we owned at the time. I looked up into the sky, watching the still visible moon, when I saw a ship circling left to right around the moon. It circled 2 or 3 times while I watched it. I remember asking my father when the rocket ship had launched, as I didn't remember hearing about one on the news. In the 70s, it was still a big deal, and we're televised live every time. My father said there hadn't been any launches, and asked me why. So I explained that I was watching a shiny oblong, now what would be referred to as a tic-tac ship, circling the moon, white or silver reflecting the sunlight. There was dead silence from the front of the car, and I instinctively knew not to ask more questions or bring it up again. There were several minutes where the sky was blocked by houses, trees, and turns. When I could see the moon again, there was no ship, and I quickly lost interest and started reading. I've thought about filing a MUFON report, but without a more precise time frame, it feels like a weak story. I thought Paul would enjoy getting a UFO story, though. Keep up the great work, guys. Thank you for all the hard work you do. Luna Moonflower.
Fascinating. I'd always report it.
Yeah? You would still make the report?
Absolutely, regardless. I mean, it's not just MUFON, really. I mean, I'm trying to think of the bloody name of them. Peter Davenport's group. Is it New Fork?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of New Fork, yeah.
Yeah, it is New Folk, that was it. Thought it was. National UFO Reporting Centre. My brain's, honestly. The synapses are not... The body is willing, but the brain is not at the moment. New Folk, which Peter and his son, who now does most of the work, because I think Peter's knocking on, bless him. But I'd report it regardless, and just try to include as many details as you can. I think as long as you've got the location and the rough time and date, you should be okay, Luna. I mean, this is the thing. Most people, I think, depending on when they see something or the era, I think these days it's not so much, but I would imagine 60s and 70s, people would be confused if they didn't see a flying saucer in the sky and they saw something that didn't look like a saucer or a plane. And that's why some people just, seeing balls or tubes or Tic Tacs or cigar shapes, triangles. And I think there was that perception that if it wasn't like the typical flying saucer, it obviously wasn't a UFO. So do it. What's the worst that could happen? They don't include it, Luna. So share it, because sharing it on here might jog somebody else's memory, and somebody else might share something that happened to them, and therefore go for it, do it. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, thank you very, very much. And again, I want to reiterate, good on you for sticking with therapy, and good on you for getting out of a bad situation.
Absolutely. Well done, you.
It is better to be lonely than in bad company.
Very true. So you've set me up here with our last message, which has come in from Foxtrot Tango. Over. You're speaking of train drivers having to live with what happened. I wonder about car drivers. Are there good stories about ghosts and ghost cars? I'm surprised we don't have more, especially with the amount of people who look at their phones whilst driving. Well, there are lots of haunted car stories, ghostly cars as well. I know Ruth Roper Wild has several in her books. I think she posted the other day she was keeping a tally of vehicle ghosts, and she's got more ghost cars than ghost motorbikes, but neither can match coach and horses, which is an interesting thing. So, I mean, you could suggest that cars have only been around 120 years. Coach and horses are still used to this day. I'm not really sure when they started. So maybe that's why you've got a bit more. But there's certainly plenty if you go looking for them. I mean, one of my favourite stories, which is absolute bollocks, I suspect, is the possessed Ford Capri from the 90s, which was quite a famous story. Do you know this one?
I do not.
Oh, would you like to know about this one?
I absolutely would.
When Keith Tagliaferro purchased his Ford Capri in 1997, he simply thought he'd bought a 16-year-old banger from which to get from A to B in. What he didn't realise that day was that he had also bought the devil's personal choice of transportation, which had a thing for killing other cars that came close to it, and often could be seen with a mysterious floating black mist in the shape of a female, sitting and passing through the car. He blamed the purple car for a string of bad luck and strange events, including being struck by lightning, the death of a family pet, ghostly faces appearing in the rearview mirror of the car, and rust appearing on the bodywork overnight. He also witnessed countless phenomena at whichever address he and the motor resided at, including poltergeist activity and ghostly apparitions. The Capri even hated journalists. Any of us that have come into contact with Keith and the car have had something horrible happen to them, including one having their house burnt down and the other being the victim of an almost fatal car accident. Even as I'm writing this, I'm looking over my shoulder. After putting up with this activity for a few months, Keith called in a local clergyman to perform an exorcism on the car, and during the event, Keith was told that the car's number plate represented a conflict between good and evil, and that might be the problem. So this car really did have the following reg plate, which was ARK 666Y. So ARK 666Y.
Because Noah had an ark, and because
I would
Iron
imagine
Maiden made a banger
that's
song.
where he's going from. I bought the car because I deal in number plates, and it was a very eye-catching one. But the man who sold it to me appeared very keen to be rid of it. I didn't think much of it at the time, but the final straw came when I parked the car outside my house, and I was struck by lightning whilst I was sat in my sitting room.
For sakes.
When I looked out at the car, it seemed to be glowing with a strange sort of mist around it. I've got a very open mind about things like this. At first I thought it was just coincidence, but it's getting a bit too deep now.
I'm pretty sure this is just the plot of Christine, Paul. I think this guy just fell asleep watching Christine and thought it happened to him.
Yes, there are a few interviews and videos of Keith and his car from the 90s when the story hit the headlines. There was a part of 40 and TV that was shown in the 90s where they went to meet Keith in his car and went for a ride in it. And they were telling, I remember at the time, he kept going on about, it eats cassettes, it just eats them. It eats cassettes like burgers. So yes, but that I pull your legs a bit. I mean, I don't think there's anything to that other than it's a banger, and Keith's probably just overreacting a little. But there's dozens of them, so I'll have a look and see if I can pull out some of my best ones. But you know, there's plenty of cursed cars. Bonnie and Clyde's car, the bullet-ridden one's supposed to be haunted. I know JFK's limo. Why you'd want to go see that, I don't know. That is supposedly haunted. People can hear screaming and crying on a night where it's housed. Obviously, as I said, Little Bastard famously liked to kill people. That accident is allegedly replayed on the site of it occasionally. People have seen James Dean's car crash there. So there's a few, really.
There we go. So we knew, of course, Foxtrot Tango, that Paul would have the goods, and maybe we'll do a whole episode. Yeah, if Paul can find enough, we'll do a whole episode on haunted car stories. That'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's another one from one of Ruth's books, which involves a taxi driver who braked really suddenly, and his passenger went, "What the hell are you doing?" And he thought somebody had walked in front of his car. And apparently this location's notorious for a ghost stepping out in front of traffic.
Oh, man. God, that'd be horrible. That's how I want to finish. It's going to be a real bummer, but this, of course, came from a conversation we had about what it does to train drivers, to like engineers and conductors who have to see someone, killed by their train. And Foxtrot Tango, you make a great point where if you think, boy, I want out of this, and you think that doing it by a car is somehow painless, man, it ain't for the person who hits you. I know this specifically because when I was hitchhiking back in the old days, I hitchhiked with a woman who had hit and killed a motorcyclist. It wasn't her fault. The cyclist was not goofing around. They were not being cautious. It was a couple. They were cycling together, and whichever one of the couple was not obeying the rules of the road, he'd been hit by this woman and killed. And even though she had been cleared legally, it weighed on her. And quite often, of course, these are why people pick you up. They want someone to talk to. And I'll never forget that ride, man. This woman, she was probably in her late 50s at the time. I was in my early 20s, and it haunted her. And it had happened a year before, and I suspect if she's still around, because this is 20-some years ago now, I suspect it haunts her still. So that's yet another reason to do what Luna did. Go get some therapy. Talk to someone. There's no such thing as an easy way out, and you just make your pain someone else's.
Very true. Very true.
All right. Well, on that cheery note, we're going to draw this episode of Talk Spooky to a close. Thank you to everyone who wrote in, who sent messages on Instagram, Threads, all those places, YouTube, Spotify, comments we haven't even got to yet. Again, we love hearing from you guys. Oh, actually, this is a slightly up note to bring it on. I know we've had a lot of people bitch about those Jay Shetty ads that have been coming on after our show.
The only thing that surprises me about Jay Shetty is he's not in the Epstein files.
Well, yet.
Think like a monk. Fuck off, you pretentious dick.
So, yeah, we've heard you loud and clear. This was a pilot thing we were trying out where other shows could, pay to advertise in our number 2 spot. But the problem is the only show that's been coming back consistently is Jay Shetty, and it just pisses people off. So I think we'll probably see that draw to a close at the end of November because it just seems to be annoying people more than anything. And I get it because We want you listening to our show. Jay doesn't need any goddamn help.
Yes, if you want to listen to people talk metaphysical bollocks, you can go to your nearest Wetherspoons at 10 o'clock on a Friday. You'll get more sense than that fucking new age charlatan.
And so, like I said, after the term ends here in a couple days, we will not be, because again, he seems to be the primary person advertising. And yeah, we don't love it. Again, it's one of those things, as a small podcast, you try different ways to make a little extra cash. And sometimes it works and kind of complements the show, so the audience gets a little something extra. Sometimes it turns out that no, it's nonsense bullshit and it pisses everyone off, and it's not really worth the hassle.
Anybody that has a guest on their show that claims praying and positive thinking kills cancer cells should never be listened to about anything ever again.
Oh, that's a bummer. I didn't know that. I read a little bit about the show before, but I was not aware it went that far into the woo. So I'm even happier that we're not extending that agreement.
Yeah, it's a circle jerk of wankers talking out of their arses.
Paul J. Shetty's right behind you.
I don't give a shit. I fancy my chances even with a bad back and depression.
So you will not have to deal with that much longer.
Not be thinking like a monk when I've done with him.
So by the time this comes out for the general public, those ads will no longer be in the feed. But we thank you for bearing with us while we tried that out.
Paul, my friend, think about soup.
Schloop, I think.
Schloop, served to him by a terrifying scarecrow man.
Paul, if someone wants to find you and feed you Schloop via terrifying scarecrow man, where would they find you online?
Chicken flavour, please. And if you are going to deliver it, you can find me as Mysteries and Monsters across most social media platforms and all good podcast sites.
Fabulous. I'm Largely the Truth on Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd. You can find my horror fiction show Fear Daily everywhere fine podcasts live. And, of course, you can hear me narrating not only my own book, A Strange Little Place, but Ruth Roper Wild's These Haunted Times Volume 5, everywhere you get your audiobooks. I was going to say podcasts, but no, those are audiobooks. You get those where you get your audiobooks. And I'm in the process, now that I've finished Elden Ring, I'm just about finished editing Soraya's book. Now I'm like full on These Haunted Times Volume 6, so that should be out again before too long. And of course, it would hardly be an episode of Talk Spooky without a song. And this time around, I'm so pleased to present our musical guest. He is a good friend of mine and someone whose art I've admired for a long time. And then I had the opportunity to actually meet him in person in 2021 in Calgary, and we got along like a house on fire. That artist is Moonrunner83. He is, I would say, Canada's finest synthwave artist, and his latest track is actually a cover of a song by the band Screeching Weasel. It is called Your Name is Tattooed on My Heart, and it comes with all the retro-inspired angst that Moonrunner is known for. Again, I love his stuff. Chad's a sweet dude, and we're happy to finally be playing one of his songs on the show. It's crazy, Paul. The guy releases a lot of music, and somehow it just never occurred to me to say, oh, hey, would you like us to play that on the show? I always just assume he doesn't need the help, is the thing.
Yes.
But still, it's a great song, and so we are very happy to present it here. All right, Paul and I will be back next week with episode 229, but until then, we will leave you with Moonrunner83, and Your Name is Tattooed on My Heart.
Well, I know thing is not a fake. Such a fool to show my love for you. I know it's no mistake, and no, this thing is not a fake. Don't forget that I won't forget you, wherever I go, what I do. And should you slip my mind, I'll have this to remind me. Your name is tattooed on my heart, and I'll always be true. Tattooed on my heart, and I'll always be true. Your name is tattooed on my heart, and I'll always be true. Your name is tattooed on my heart, and I'll always be true.